big blow for the Indian Premier League and its fans. The Supreme Court appointed panel headed by Justice Lodha today banned two-time champions and the most successful franchise in the IPL, Chennai Super Kings, along with Rajasthan Royals, have been banned for 2 years. CSK's promoter family N. Srinivasan's son-in-law Gurunath Meiyappan and Rajasthan Royals owner Raj Kundra face lifetime ban for their roles in the IPL spot-fixing scandal. Now, the Justice Lodha committee still has to investigate the role of IPL COO Sundar Raman, and if today's verdict is anything to go by, even he faces action and processes of the BCCI may be streamlined. Now, meanwhile, sources in the Apex cricket governing body in India tell your network that 2 other franchisees may be inducted into the IPL to make up for the loss. So, Jetna, first to you, a scathing judgment by the Supreme Court appointed panel today.
Scathing, stringent, unprecedented. These are some of the adjectives that are being used after Justice Lodha read out his report on the IPL betting scam. Clearly a cricket enthusiast, Justice Lodha has punctuated his report with phrases like cricket is not only a game but a religion in India and is a passion in India, and therefore justified the need for strict action against the offenders to return cricket to its essence of innocence as well as to its essence of purity. Therefore, remember, this is the committee that was created by the Supreme Court in January this year, with former Chief Justice of Supreme Court R.M. Lodha as the chairman, who is accompanied by 2 more members. This voluminous report clearly points out how the committee is in no mood to allow any kind of betting or any violation which will tarnish the image of cricket, and that's exactly why Gurunath Meiyappan of Chennai Super Kings and Raj Kundra of Rajasthan Royals, both promoters of the company, have been banned for life from any cricketing activity as well as any activity involving the BCCI. As far as any other sporting activity is concerned, the ban is for the next 5 years. All these punishments are for them, the starting date is today itself. As far as the franchises are concerned, both CSK as well as Rajasthan Royals, they have been banned from participating in the IPL for the next 2 years. Obviously, we have seen the reaction that India Cements has had after this verdict was read out. We have to remember here that the brief of this committee was not to look into the criminal liability as an offshoot of the offenders. And as far as Sundar Raman, the COO of IPL, is concerned, Justice Lodha said that the investigation is still on.
All right, some bit of investigation still on, Sujetna, and coming straight from the horse's mouth in a conversation with Times Now, Mukul Mudgal, the head of the fact-finding committee in the IPL betting scandal, underlined the findings of his report along with the basis of indicting both Meiyappan as well as Raj Kundra.
We had merely found Mr. Meiyappan to be a team official of Chennai Super King and found that he was betting on matches in the IPL.
And so what about Raj Kundra also?
Same was the finding in respect of Mr. Raj Kundra, in respect of Rajasthan Royals, that he was in fact an owner and that he was also indulging in betting. These findings were accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court, and now the present panel appointed by the Supreme Court, headed by Justice Lodha, is deciding what punishment, if any, should be imposed on these 2 franchises and the 2.
We have with us a special guest to take us through the details and add some bit of perspective to this entire saga on IPL. Gopal Jain joins us. He's a Supreme Court lawyer. Mr. Jain, good to have you on the show. Now, is this a clean-up act for Indian cricket and especially IPL, which has been mired in so many controversies?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a big clean-up act. It's a big shake-up. And I think the most important thing is that it sends a very clear signal that the integrity of the game, the purity of the game, that would be given, the utmost importance. And all these shadows and clouds which have hovered over IPL and, various teams of the IPL and various players, I think this kind of sentence and the quantum of sentence sends out a very clear signal that we have to sort of put the past behind us and move on with a much cleaner, purer, and possibly fairer IPL than we've seen so far.
But so far, Mr. Jain, do you think that they have gotten away quite lightly, only banned for life, both Meiyappan as well as the and also the franchisees? They have been suspended for 2 years only. You think that it could have been stricter and more stringent in terms of the punishment?
No, I think, look, a life ban is a life ban. That is really a maximum punishment in that sense. And so far as the 2-year suspension is concerned, there was a panel headed by a retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And obviously, you apply the principle of proportionality to see the gravity of the offense, and the sentence must be commensurate with that. So once an expert body has given the quantum of sentence, we must go by that and we must abide by what they've said rather than, speculate, because that is the process of determination, and you can't have a better panel than, a retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and 2 other judges of the Supreme Court.
And what about the impact on N. Srinivasan and the Board of Cricket Control? Will this particular judgment finally have?
Look, IPL ultimately is held under the auspices and banner of the BCCI, and if you go by what the report says, obviously in terms of oversight, the BCCI had completely failed in ensuring that the IPL was clean, it was fair, it was played in the spirit of the game. So in a sense, naturally there will be a side effect to it, and it is an indictment of the entire administration of cricket that they allowed something to happen right under their nose, and it finally required an order from the court and also this panel which has submitted its report for there to be a complete shake-up and to clean up the mess.
Right, and Ms. Jain wanted to know that the order is coming in from the Supreme Court appointed panel. So what kind of a legal recourse and an option do those impacted and punished by this judgment have now?
Look, the report is submitted to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will pass further orders or directions on that report. Usually, if there's a report which is submitted and a party is aggrieved by it, they are entitled to file their response or give objections which can be considered. But like I said, today we should just welcome the report and think this is going to be a fresh starting point, maybe a turning point for the game. And, we should let things pan out in the way in which they would, rather than look at a challenge at this stage.
Right. Thanks so much, Gopal Jain, for joining us and added that bit of perspective there on this entire IPL saga and the punishments that were doled out today on the spot fixing case.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.